Welcome everybody to the Sports Tech Collider for MassChallenge 2021. I'm John Nordby, Managing Director for MassChallenge in Texas. Real pleasure to be here with you all today. Today marks the halfway mark, the halfway point of our Accelerator for our early stage programs. And is the first public event that we have to introduce you all to the amazing startups that have been a part of our sports tech track this year. So I'll talk a little bit about what all that means in a second, but first, let's take a look at what we expect for today for the agenda. I'll set this up for you and then we'll kind of get to it. So I'm going to talk a little bit about what the sports tech track is at MassChallenge, how the startups came to us, what we're doing to impact the sports tech industry. We have one of our awesome mentors with us, Mr. Thomas Alomes, who's head of the Sports Tech World Series, along with a laundry list of other things that he does. Will give us an awesome talk on the state of sports, or state of sports tech, I should say. And then we will jump into it. We'll do quick intros from every one of the startups. So we'll have two groups of 10 going. They'll intro themselves about 30 seconds or so, just real quick on the company. For those of you that are either joining us live here or will be watching the recording later, you can also see all of these intros or at least the profile of the companies in the Airtable that's linked in the, we'll put it in the chat here in a minute, and also live with this video everywhere we post the video. So the idea of today is to introduce you to the companies, spend some time with them. Right after the intros, we'll open up breakout rooms. Every startup will be in their own breakout room, so you can come and go, say hi to them, set up follow-on meetings, give them advice, give them money, you know, whatever suits you, whatever makes sense. All right, so with that, let's jump into it. So to set the stage a little bit, because we got a lot of folks joining us that are maybe new to MassChallenge or new to the sports tech industry, I'm going to spend just a couple minutes setting that up and sort of why we're here, right? So at MassChallenge, we equip bold entrepreneurs to disrupt the status quo and create meaningful global change. What that means on a more tactical level is a bunch of different things. So we are a nonprofit, non-equity accelerator that is really built on a foundation of a global network of experts and mentors. We spend a lot of time curating that network, pulling them into our process and our program, and then leveraging the knowledge base that they represent to best help the most promising startups from around the world. We do that in a bunch of different ways. One of the most visible ways that we do that is in our early stage accelerator, which we run right now. So we currently have 231 startups that joined us this year in our US programs. That's Houston, Austin, Boston, and Rhode Island. And then once the startups got into that program, they had the option to select whether or not they wanted to be part of one of our industry tracks. And so today is the sports tech track collider. Based on that network of global experts and mentors, we do a few things for the startups. We educate them, connect them, and support them. We actually do this for the startups and the mentors as well. So we really are looking for startups that solve the most massive challenges. We're looking for the most promising startups across the world. It's a fairly competitive process to get into our program. We took 3,300 applications this year to our early stage program and selected 231 of the best. Once they're in the program, we spend a lot of time connecting them to the mentors, helping them understand the goals that they have individually for the organization. So the startups come from everywhere in the world, every industry, just about every stage of development. So those goals and those milestones that we have for them are all specific to those startups and to what their current needs are. We help connect and support them through our network of alumni, mentors, experts. And we do the same thing for our partners and for our experts as well, right? So that's based on what MassChallenge is. If this is the first time you're hearing this, awesome. Glad to have you here. And also sign up to be an expert because you get to meet some really cool people like you're going to find out from here today. All right. So one of the things that we do whenever we launch a program like we did here in Houston is we go and we build that expert mentor pool in that network. And then we discover, based on that mentor pool, where we can create unique value for our global startup communities. What we found in Houston was a deep expertise, and I should say not just in Houston, but what started here in Houston and expanded to our network across the world, was a deep expertise in things like human health and performance, analytics, materials, and things that really supported the sports tech industry. we also found that sports tech startups were fairly underserved from the global startup perspective, which is why we created the sports tech track. So this is our way of identifying solutions that can improve human health and performance, human potential on and off the field. We have got some notes here of a little bit of what that covers. It really covers a lot of things from mental health and performance to recovery. I mentioned analytics, of course, fan experience is in there. But really, we like to think of it as anything that's going to help humans perform well in harsh environments or help brands better connect with their supporters. Most of the technologies and most of the startups that you hear from today, what you'll find is that they're dual use technologies, which we love as well. So the sports tech industry provides a really, really awesome on-ramp for startups to experiment, to find early customers, and to test things out that ultimately make their way into the consumer markets. We see a lot of crossover with our partners in defense innovation and also the space industry. So it's an awesome pathway to discover and to validate dual use technologies. And we're extremely excited for our second year in a row to be partnering with Stadia Ventures on this track. So for those of you not familiar with Stadia Ventures, they're a later stage venture firm and investment and accelerator. They take sports tech startups from all over the world as well. So we have a great partnership with them wherein we have a lot of great access to their mentors and their network. And a lot of the startups that we see through our sports tech track, once they graduate from us, they go on to apply to Stadia Ventures, and a lot of them tend to be a good fit. So they're very thankful for our partners at Stadia Ventures. All right. So I mentioned at the beginning, all the startups you'll see today, they are part of the MassChallenge 2021 cohort, the 231. Once they were accepted through our rigorous selection process, they then applied to also be a part of our sports tech track. And so what's in it for them when they do that? We have a dedicated community of advisors, of mentors, of experts from across the sports tech world. We have some curated content and experts that we can pair them with. And then, of course, the peer network that extends not only through Stadia Ventures, but also other partners above and beyond our normal community of industry agnostic experts here at MassChallenge. So that is why we're here, right? Because people are awesome, sports tech is awesome, and now we get to talk to another person that's kind of awesome. Coming up also, I should mention that when we go into the breakout rooms, there will be a MassChallenge breakout room, because I knew I flew through that because I want to spend as much time as we can today for you all to get to meet the startups. So if you have any questions about MassChallenge or our program, I'm happy to answer those in one of those breakout rooms. All right. So I am thrilled to bring up Thomas Alones. Thomas has been a great friend of the program since we launched last year. He is head of Sports Tech World Series. I don't know if you saw that incredibly long bio that we flashed up there. He does a lot of other awesome things as well, though, and always has an amazing perspective on the sports tech industry. So without further ado, Thomas, why don't you take us away, buddy?
Okay, good afternoon, everyone. I will share my screen so we can see that. Here we are. Trusting that's working all right. Get a nod from John. They're all good? Yep, great. So as John said, hello everyone, my name's Thomas Sloane. Despite the accent, I'm based in Austin, Texas, so I'm local to the program. I'm originally from a little bit further south than here. But today we're talking about the state of sports tech. So this presentation is a bit of an update on what I covered last year when I presented on this, and looking at really what are the emerging areas in the industry, how do you even define the industry, and then looking to the future, what's happening with that. And we'll cover that fairly quickly in the next 20 minutes. So as I said, technology framework, key trends, and we'll run through that. So a little bit about me, working in sports tech for about 5-6 years now. Previously co-founded a business around Internet of Things and connected devices, and that's actually kind of my journey into sports technology, was coming from the bigger world of IoT more generally, and then into this burgeoning area of sports tech. Served the chair of the International Sports Technology Association's Commercial Leadership Board, mentor and judge for Stadia Ventures, MassChallenge, a few others, and guest lecturer at various universities. And then the day job is with Sports Tech World Series. So I lead our market insights and consulting work. So we work with large sports technology companies, investment funds, working with startups as well. So all about growth, development, strategy, obviously on the investment side around M&A and deal flow. Also co-founded Sports Innovation Texas. So it's a not-for-profit based here in Austin, Central Texas, and looking to be the industry body for sports innovation, sports technology in the region. So if you're involved in sports, please get in touch with either of us. I also host our podcast with Sports Tech World Series. So every 2 weeks we do an interview with a different industry leader, talking about different things in the industry. So that's a good way to stay up to date and kind of clued in with what's happening. So Sports Innovation TX as well, if you'd like to join there. So moving right along, sports tech, what is it? I mean, it's a huge, amorphous, unwieldy term. You can say sports tech and it means, 10 different things, 10 different people. Basically, the easiest way to slice and dice it is from, performance, as in what's happening on the field, and then into the business side, so what's happening off field. But really, sports tech as it is and as it stands and as we'll talk about today, also pulls in different kind of areas that abut either side. So connected fitness, wellness tech, health tech, all that kind of stuff over there. And then look at more things on the business side, and it strays into media and entertainment, especially on the streaming end. So it's quite a large area. It is growing at a very rapid pace, and it's something that the COVID-19 pandemic, although it took a massive hit to the sports industry as a whole, technology has a huge role to play in basically recovering the industry. So looking at ways to find efficiencies in what's done, both from cost efficiencies and kind of resource efficiencies, but then also ways that you can drive new revenue. So this is how we think of sports technology at Sports Tech World Series. There's a couple other frameworks out there. The guys at Sports Tech X have their own framework as well, in terms of how they look at the industry. We've grouped it into 8 broad areas, and there's a bit of a kind of explanation for each of them. They're fairly self-explanatory. I will say that they're not mutually exclusive, but they are collectively exhaustive in the sense of a fan and sponsor engagement solution will also have applications in media and broadcast, depending on which bucket you put that in. And in the same way that obviously data capture and analysis, that's more that how is the data captured, and then the fan engagement is, well, what do you do with that data? So betting and fantasy sports, massive area. We'll talk about that a little bit later. And this is the other side of it: athlete performance and tracking, athlete team and event management, stadiums and venues, and esports. And something I neglected to mention at the beginning, but I write a monthly column for Sports Pro Media. We've just published, the first one was on stadium venues last month. The next one's coming out in fan and sponsor engagement. So if you want to look that up as well, that's a good entry point into understanding some more in-depth of each of these 8 areas. So this is what we'll be covering. These are sports tech trends into 2021, ones that have been accelerated in different ways because of COVID-19, and ones that are kind of have a longer tail and have been there for a while. So first of all, is home fitness and remote training. So connected fitness, it's seen an absolute boom in 2020 with people stuck in their homes, and kind of looking for ways to still remain active and engaged with their fitness and their health. But really, it's been a long time coming. It's something that the pandemic has really accelerated, but was already a trend towards this. And that's what we call the quantified self. So the ability to track and manage what you do as a human and your performance, and actually give some data behind that, give actionable insights. Looking at companies like Whoop, Aura, both unicorn status, over $1 billion valuation. And then the next elevation of that is the crossover between mental and physical health. So the example there is Hyperice. I think it was 3 weeks ago, acquired a mental health app. So Hyperice, along with, there's probably about 2 other major players in the space, are recovery devices. So quite well known for their percussion guns, which is the thing, with a battery, and it's got a thing that basically just massages your muscles. And they went into the mental health space. So the idea of holistic recovery, and all of that driven by technology, driven by data, driven by personalization. Another example is Lululemon, obviously the athletic brand, kind of second only to Nike globally, acquired Mirror, and there's the photo of it there, for $500 million. And it's one of those things that these consumer brands are really pushing into this space as well, because it's really, brand done well is an extension of oneself. and how we think of our health, how we think of our physical, mental health, fitness, wellness, all that kind of stuff. So that's a really exciting space where we're seeing a lot of money pouring into. It's starting to equalize itself a little bit with the amount of funding that's going in, but it's still got a lot left to run. So frictionless fan experience, another example of something that was already trending before the pandemic and just had a rocket put under it because of the pandemic. Got a quote there from Andrew Shannon, who's he's now at Google, but he used to be A&B Sports and Entertainment up in Atlanta, and saying that technology is really focused on sanitation, frictionless technologies, and that was really their massive focus with returning fans safely to stadiums. So the NFL has gone 100% digital ticketing this year, and that's one of those things that it was driven by the pandemic. You can get better data off a fan if you have a digital ticket. It's faster. There's less fraud. There's less black market ticket sales. It's more efficient. You can make sure that you can control resales and understand data through that journey of the ticket. And then you also have a one-to-one communication with a fan. If they buy it through the platform that you have, digital ticketing, you can send them updates, you can send them more information. It's just a lot better for everyone involved. But consumers are funny things, fans are funny things. If I've gone to the football, the baseball for the last 20 years and used a paper ticket, I might be a bit hesitant to use a digital option. Along comes the pandemic and you say, well, it's actually not safe. It's not online with the health and safety guidelines to use a physical bit of paper. That's the 90s basically, and someone's going to cough on it and you've got to stand there and you've got to have all this staff dealing with it. So it's really one of those things it's shifted it at the I guess the bleeding edge, the really cutting edge of what's happening in that space. Things around blockchain ticketing. Example I use is Johan Cruyff Arena in Amsterdam in the Netherlands. Had a trial of a blockchain enabled ticket that was on your phone, but then also you had to have geolocating turned on your phone with the ticket, and the ticket will become active when you were within a certain distance and a certain time of the stadium. So to stop scalpers and people selling the ticket, say it's a 4 o'clock kickoff, your ticket becomes active at 3 p.m. and once you're within 200 yards of the stadium. So that way it stops fraud, things like that. There are data privacy issues with that, and especially in the European Union with GDPR. And that also follows on to biometric ticketing and scanning, something at LAFC and Clear. If you've been through an airport, you'd see the Clear systems. They're using those at LAFC. So you can either use a fingerprint or a retina scan, or at the kind of the holy grail of frictionless is facial recognition. So I can walk into a stadium, my face is my tickets, how I pay for things. It's all there. I just walk through, and that ingress and egress is completely smoothed over. I just glide straight through. So that's one of those things, again, people have some serious privacy concerns around. Obviously, the technology is there in terms of what it's able to do, but you've got to wait for it to catch up with kind of fan expectation beyond just those early adopters. So that's something that teams, I would say every major team in at least North America has looked at in some capacity, whether they tell you they have or not. What that actually looks like in the implementation will come at different speeds and for different groups. So it might be something that you use it for your select VIP group, you use it for season ticket members, all that kind of stuff. So just as we saw after a 9/11 that the security experience at the airport completely changed, I think after the pandemic, what's accepted and what it looks like for that fan experience will be altered as well. Probably not as to the same extreme level, but certainly there's a lot of changes that are coming down the line. So AI, ML, and computer vision. So computer vision is just the coolest for me, the coolest like sports tech application. It's one of those ones you can just put in front of a 5-year-old or 50-year-old and they go, wow. So this is from Second Spectrum, which was acquired, I think it was earlier this year. And that was Steve Ballmer was one of the early investors in it. Basically, it's computer vision, which is teaching a computer or machine to function as a human eye so it can understand what it's seeing. And that way you can automatically gather data, stats, and then recycle that into overlays. So what you're seeing here is an example of that, being able to instantaneously go, so-and-so is shooting at whatever percentage from this position on the court and put that straight onto an overlay. And then for a coach, say, well, the opposition team, so-and-so's got the hot hand, they're shooting at this point, and that's where they keep running their plays. So the big thing around this is getting it, the latency down, something that 5G is promising a lot in terms of the ability to make that instantaneous. So you don't have to wait, 5 minutes for the replay or whatever else, or in a game, you can get that right on the sidelines. So seeing a lot of investment in the space from sports betting companies that are working to find more efficient ways to gather data. So Sports Radar, Genius Sports, two of the big ones. Sports Radar acquired Synergy Sports earlier this year. We did a bit of consulting work for Synergy Sports in the lead up to that. So it was great to see them get a win with Sports Radar, and then Genius Sports, as I said, acquiring Second Spectrum. So that's all around automation, kind of interesting stuff. This is an example of it at the youth and grassroots level. So Pixelot's an Israeli fixed automated camera system, as you can see there. So that's being installed as part of a deal they did with the National Federation of High Schools. So all high schools around the US get a free Pixelot camera for their basketball stadium and their football stadium. And what that does is, instead of having, one of the media students who might be a junior or senior or whatever, sitting there with a camera and trying to produce something that's very far from what you would say is ESPN quality, you can actually have this automated system that will film everything and then use other technology solutions to put a quality experience on top of that. So as I said, automated camera systems, Synergy, Pixelot, Huddle are the major ones. Graphics and live stat overlays. So you have Liga, Singular Live. That's things that basically it just comes over and automates graphics. So it feels like your local soccer, football, whatever team at a high school level, at a tier 2, 3, 4, 5 level, feels professional. And then cloud production and management. So actually, what do you do with all this? You're not running around with hard drives. You can actually stream it straight to the cloud. And then a really cool one is who just got a few $1 million funding from Greg Norman's investment fund is Spork. So they're out of New Zealand and they do remote multilingual commentary. So you can actually connect with commentators from around the world and say whatever sport it is. Obviously the Olympics at one end in terms of a global sporting competition, but even football, football in terms of American football. Well, I want someone that speaks, Swahili to commentate that because I actually want to understand what's going on. You can have that connected and that commentary put as a layer over that broadcast. So really it's an amazing fan engagement tool. And also leads on to this point around personalization and direct to consumer. So as in all industries, the big shift to first party data. So knowing your consumer, knowing your fan, connecting with them directly, owning that data, not having that sitting on rented platforms like social media. Sports has been very slow on the uptake on this, but finally the penny's starting to drop. So how do you find ways that you can, first of all, gather that first party data, understand who your fans are, and then look to personalize your offering? So an interesting one I saw, and I've listed there, Microsoft and the NBA partnered last year on building a direct-to-consumer app and also using their Azure machine learning platform to understand more about their fans. Example I saw this morning was one of the SVPs from the NBA talking about if we have a fan that buys on their platform a large men's shirt, a medium women's shirt, and then 2 youth shirts, do you send them an offer for tickets on a Tuesday night and like a drinks package? Or do you say, actually, here's a Sunday afternoon game or a weekend game and do some sort of food package? So in the sense of, you can infer from that, either they're a very weirdly proportioned friendship group or they're a family, whatever that looks like. It's one of those things that you can say, well, context clues, let's think about this. Is that something that we're going to do? And again, through machine learning, artificial intelligence, you can automate that process. So you are getting better outcomes for everyone because you're monetizing the fan more. And some people say it's a kind of react, oh, it's a dirty word saying you're monetizing the fan. Well, really that's what fan engagement is. And let's be honest, sports is a for-profit business, and none of this magic happens without the financial implications of it. But if you're giving people the value that they want, then they're happy to pay for that. So actually, it's a win-win for everyone there. So the example I've got there is the Megacast from the National Championship. So the ability with OTT, over-the-top streaming offerings, you can personalize it again. So you can have, if you think about broadcast, linear, traditional broadcast, turning on my TV, turning on cable, the idea of having 16 or whatever it is, different channels, it doesn't happen. You can't do that. You have the broadcast and you have the commentators on the broadcast, in the language on the broadcast, with the stats on the broadcast, and that's what you get. Tough luck, enjoy it, take it or leave it. Whereas this, you go, well, I'm into sports betting. I want something to do with all the odds and the data and stuff. I'm going to watch this. Hey, actually, I've got young kids. I don't want to watch the sports betting thing. They're still learning the rules. Let's look at the, Nickelodeon did the Slime AR broadcast. I'm not sure if anyone saw that, but one of the playoff games for the NFL season last year, and they had SpongeBob explaining what first down is and stuff like that. And when someone scored a touchdown, you had augmented reality, fake slime going onto the end zone. That's something that you can have multiple streaming channels that can have that. You can have things in different languages, all that kind of stuff. There's one here that's it was with it was just focusing on the referees. It's a strange thing. I don't know who would ever watch that, but anyway, you can do that. That's possible. If there's enough of a demand for it, knock yourself out. So that's something that's really interesting in the space there. Sports betting, it would be remiss if we didn't talk about it. It is driving, I want to say 80% of the M&A space in sports technology at the moment. Obviously, serious concerns around gambling addiction, things like that. That's being exacerbating the growth in the US, strangely enough, because in established markets like Australia, the UK, where sports betting has been legal for a long time, you've actually got regulators cutting down. So then it goes, well, we've got this massive emerging market in the US with huge population, huge potential. So really, as states open up legalization, there's a bit of a land grab, gold rush, whatever you want to call it, within the US. So thinking of the scale of the opportunity here, the three most populous states in the US still have not legalized sports betting. So if you take California, Texas, and Florida in there, and then you throw in, say, New York as well, mobile betting, it is immense. So it really is immense. And I've just put there some of the numbers that are being talked about in terms of indirect and direct sports betting revenue. So another one to look at is India. So India has, it's illegal for sports betting, but it's legal for fantasy sports. So the way that that's divided, and I know this because I've read a lot of Indian law reviews on sports betting, but if something's a game of chance, it's betting and it's illegal. If it's a game of skill, like fantasy sports, it's legal. But it looks like that sports betting will be legalized in India in the next 5 to 10 years. A huge market there, enormous sports mad nation, and really into fantasy sports. So prediction there is $3.7 billion by year end of 2024. You put in some legalized sports betting and that really goes through the roof. So this is an example of what that looks like in terms of technology and integrations. So this is taken from DraftKings 2020 SEC filings. I think it was they with $6 billion with their initial SPAC IPO. And really it's there. So DraftKings daily fantasy golf users will have the ability to receive real-time video highlights for players in their respective lineups. So PGA Tour and DraftKings will collaborate on a variety of real-time product enhancements via the PGA Tour's proprietary data feed. And saying we engage with similar multi-year relationships with professional sports teams which serve to bolster our brand affiliation, create unique collaborative integration for our users, which is a long way of saying basically content for sports betting. So that partnership. But the way that they do that is a huge tech layer that sits under that to say that these are my players in the fantasy sports lineup, and then I get content and highlights on those. So it's a really interesting space where they're feeding into that, and you're seeing that kind of emerge in the content space. things like Barstool, which had 36% acquired by Penn National Gaming, and now they're in talks to stream MLB games. The final one I'll leave you with, esports and virtual sports. Obviously, the growth of esports has been phenomenal, but then also virtual sports. And to kind of define the two, esports is its own, what you would think of as classic video gaming, first-person shooters, stuff like that. Virtual sports is basically replicating a physical sport in a virtual setting. So the Formula One virtual Grand Prix is an example. You had F1 drivers, you had F1 esports drivers, you had celebrities, and then you had average Joes and Josephine's playing in the simulator, Codemasters. So that was put on to essentially replace the Formula One races they couldn't run. And they pulled in 3.2 million online viewers. They were able to deliver value for their sponsor brand partners. So Heineken, for instance, they actually had Heineken advertising hoardings on the virtual Grand Prix, and be able to turn around and say, hey, we're actually giving you value here. So that's really interesting. And huge investment in that. A lot of the, Fortnite, Epic Games. So final stat from this is Travis Scott's in-game concert. So huge viewership and participation. The thing that I haven't put here, they also turned over like $20 or $30 million worth of merchandise sales. And that's digital merchandise. That is skins, game packs, stuff like that. So when people start talking about NFTs and non-fungible tokens, digital collectibles, things like that, and go, well, this is crazy. Why would I spend 200 grand on a highlight of LeBron that's just digital? That's not anything new in the sense of, especially amongst young generations, understanding the value of a digital collectible, a digital asset. So that's probably the last point to leave you with in terms of sports technology, and wrote about it a bit in my article with Sports Pro Media, is bridging that digital physical divide is what you're going to see a lot more in sports and sports technology. So what is classically thought of as the sports experience of going to the stadium and I sit there and I take that in, think of it in a global perspective. If I'm in Austin, Texas, and I want to watch my West Coast Eagles play in Australia, I can't do that. Is there a way you can replicate that experience in the digital realm? So that's something to think of there. I've blasted through as much as I can. If you'd like to reach out, my contact details are in the MassChallenge database. I don't know what it's called, John. I'm sure it's got a much better fancy name than that, but feel free to reach out. And thank you for having me today.
Thanks, Thomas. Really appreciate it. Always a whirlwind of information, which I love, but an awesome snapshot on
drinking from a fire hose, I think, is the explanation.
Exactly. I love it. And yeah, like Thomas mentioned, so if you're one of the startups that's joining us today, Thomas is in the directory and Accelerate. You can look him up as a mentor. For those of you in the audience that are not founders but would like to connect with Thomas, happy to do that. You can send a note to me or my team. We're happy to connect you on to Thomas as well. All right. Y'all ready to hear some of the pitches? Let's do that, right? I shouldn't say pitches. These are introductions. They're very short, very fast. They're going to come at you in a pretty quick way. All right, so here's how this is going to work. My wonderful team in the background is going to put the order into the chat real quick. We're going to call the startups up. Actually, the startups are going to come up one at a time. You'll see your slide pop up. You'll have 30 seconds to do your intro. We'll flip the slide over after 30 seconds. If you go too much longer, we'll mute you. So try not to do that, just to keep us on time. And then you can also see in the chat there, we've relinked the portfolio, which is on Airtable. So you can view more about the companies there on that Airtable. That'll be live also after the event. So those of you watching us on the recording later on, we'll make sure that link lives with the recording as well. It's got all the information on the startups, or a lot of the information. And then me and my team can help you all connect on if you see somebody there that you want to connect with and you're not joining us live. If you are here live, take notes, write down who you want to go see in the breakout rooms afterwards. If you run out of time to see them all, that's fine as well. There's plenty of hours left in the day, days left in the month. It goes on and on and on and on to something more philosophical. But basically, there's a lot of time left here. So don't feel limited to today. Definitely get around, meet as many as you can, and then we can always help you connect on. All right, so we're going to hear 10, take a little break, and then hear the last 10. So we have the list in there. Naramco is going to be up first. So I am not going to say anything else. We're going to let them come up. And again, the slides will go through, startups, so 30 seconds to introduce yourself. So keep an eye on where you're at in the order, unmute yourself and take it away. All right.
Thank you, John. My name is Maren Kadnar. I'm CEO of Naramco, an MIT spin-out company that is producing garments out of Cetex, which is a smart polyethylene-based fiber and fabrics. For athletes, we intend to increase comfort, performance, and conscious. Our garments are superior cooling through wicking and passive cooling, are antibacterial, stain resistant, and are environmentally friendly in that we use less water to make the products. We don't pollute the water with dyes and microplastics, and we've created a circular economy where we can potentially recycle our PE. Thank you.
Everybody, thanks, John and Thomas. At Augmental Tech, we're developing technology that integrates with the mouth to enable intimate health monitoring. Specifically, we're making a wireless intraoral sensing platform that can be worn like a mouth guard. This is a little prototype. And with the overall goal of understanding and improving human recovery and performance, so to speak, to quantify itself. Our solution explores the untapped richness of both physiological and behavioral signals from the mouth, and is capable of providing unprecedented access to interesting biosignals that no other device can really capture. And due to its unobtrusive mouthguard-like design, our solution allows athletes to perform at their highest level without any wires, distracting equipment, etc., getting in the way of genuine gameplay. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. Fanoramas is a fan experience technology that creates new sponsorship opportunities for brands and venues. Our platform provides photo galleries of fans celebrating epic moments in real time, making fans heroes of their own highlight reels. We're looking to connect with people in sponsorship activation, camera manufacturing, and software companies that specialize in imaging programs. Looking forward to meeting you all in the breakout room. Thanks.
Hi, everyone. At GI, we create high-performance gear for high-performance individuals. Our first product, which is designed with global heat in mind, is a smart cooling vest that uses biosensors to actively respond to its wear. Looking forward to meeting you all, and I'll see you in the breakout room.
Hi, everyone. At GamerSafer, our core mission is to use tech to improve safety and secure competition integrity on esports for millions of players worldwide. We defeat harassment, sexism, racism, cheaters, and identity-related fraudsters with a prevention-first approach using computer vision and AI. We recently raised our seed round. We finalized our integration with Minecraft, yes, the big game, and we are working with several esports platforms. So let's chat and game on.
Good afternoon. Did you know radars can talk to each other? When this happens, it's called unintentional jamming. I'm Dean Zodi, founder and CEO of Ghostwave. Ghostwave is a radar company commercializing patents from The Ohio State University. Instead of a finite number of repetitive signals, our radars are transmitting millions of random signals. This makes the radar stealthy and immune to jamming and interference. Ghostwave has completed $2 million plus contracts with Ohio Federal Research Network. One is using our radars to intercept drones carrying drugs and weapons into prisons. Let's expand that to stadium security. Stop by the Ghostwave Zoom breakout room so we can talk more about the cool things we are doing with radars.
Good afternoon. I'm Sigda Zaki, founder and CEO of Histophy. We believe in the power of data-driven personalized medicine and use it to cure cancer. The tools in Histophy platform that captures and process data to deliver fine-tuned insights to the physicians who deal with the cancer patients. And the mobile app with integrated mental and physical health features offer a personalized and healing process for the patient. And we welcome help and support to our efforts to ease cancer patient journey to cure. And look forward to chatting more in the breakup session. Thank you.
Hi everyone, my name is Khaled. At Labs Cubed, we enable companies to create new and innovative materials faster. So materials such as rubbers that might go into shoes, for example, or plastics or adhesives, all of them are important for the equipment that these athletes will use every day. And the way we achieve that and the way we help companies to speed up that development is by manufacturing, designing, and selling automated testing equipment for the labs to speed up a manual process today. Thank you very much.
Hi everyone, I'm Faye from Manus Robotics. We're developing a compact optical sensor to quickly and reliably measure muscle activity through clothes. Our technology's primary application is to detect user intent when interacting with and controlling various devices, but the data our sensor collects can also be used to track muscle usage and fatigue. If you're interested in learning about our product or would like to share your insights in these areas, please stop by our breakout room. Thanks.
Hi, I'm Alex Porter, CEO of ModTech Labs. We're a platform that makes 3D content creation simple with the use of a cell phone all the way through a high-end professional camera. We have a complete automated workflow that allows users to create any kind of 3D imagery for display on everything from 3D glasses to 3D visuals into VR. Thank you.
All right, that was the first 10. So if you were playing along at home, the Sports Tech World Series bingo game, how many of the 8 trends did we hit? I think almost all of them. I didn't see a gaming one yet, but we were getting pretty close. All right, so just a quick little interlude. Some great applications in human health and performance, in materials, robotics, sort of across the board. That's why I love this stuff. It's so fun. All right, okay, we're gonna put the next 10 up. We've got the Airtable there linked again. I hope that you are following along, taking some notes, figuring out who you want to go talk to. Here we go. All right, so here are the last 10. You guys did awesome, so I don't feel like you need more instruction. You got this. All right, let's start with Karen. Let's see.
Actually, Jason Warshell,
Sorry,
co-founder of Neurogenesis. Neurogenesis has developed a wireless in-home headband technology that enhances memory by boosting the specific brain waves that cause memory consolidation during slow wave sleep. The underlying science has been proven in multiple premier research universities. We will disrupt the memory market by having the only safe and effective memory product. We have partnered with University of New Mexico in clinical trials. Enhanced memory and cognitive performance are directly applicable to sports, including gaming and esports. We are studying the efficacy of the technology in post-concussive disorders. Thanks.
Hello. We're the co-founders of Organic Robotics, and we make soft and stretchable fiber optic sensors that use light to measure high-speed biomechanics such as motion, respiration, and muscle fatigue for athletes for injury prevention, as well as improved performance.
Hi, I'm Maggie. I'm the co-founder and CEO of Points, a safety-focused mapping app for micromobility riders. So you can think of it as ways for bikes, scooters, skateboards, and any other form of active transportation. We're currently in our private beta and we'll be expanding to a public beta in the next couple weeks. And we just raised our pre-seed round of funding. So I'm excited to connect with anybody after the call.
Hi, I'm Anupam Khandelwal, co-founder of Sage Surfer. Sports teams are acknowledging that their athletes encounter a high level of emotional stress, which results in reduced performance. Sage Surfer is first of its kind. Through HIPAA-compliant, interactive, multifunctional communication platform, Sage Surfer empowers athletes to organize their care through ease of communication, data collection, and collaboration with their coaches, trainers, treaters, and other support networks in one location. Carve their own mental health wellness journey. Sage Surfer helps teams, athletes optimize their physical and mental health, safety, and performance. Looking forward to meeting you in the breakout room. Thank you.
Hey, everyone. All individual training involves performing predetermined movements, but for over 2 billion athletes, games also require cognitive skills like reaction time and decision-making. After playing professional soccer and getting a degree in neuroscience, I decided to create the Switched On app to combine this physical and cognitive component using just your mobile device. The app provides randomized visual and audio cues, and our training is trusted by professional athletes and coaches in over 10 major sports leagues like the MLB, NBA, and NHL.
Hello, everyone. My name is Yiting Wu, CEO of Tenderlight Scientific. An exercise-induced muscle cramp is a highly unpredictable, intense, and painful involuntary contraction of skeletal muscle. We have developed a portable, non-invasive blood testing device that can also measure and predict the level of muscle cramping via light scattering technology. Our device can enhance performance training with the real-time data on muscle capacity. Hope to see you at the breakout room. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. I'm Will Sims, founder of TrueSpark Technologies. And just like our logo shows, our tech deals with first down measurement concept during an American football game. Being in the stands at most football games, it's nearly impossible for them to see and witness the first down measurement up close. So our tech allows the official doing the first down measurement to use a handheld device and scan the actual measurement results to fans in the stands, giving them an on-field presence of the football game itself. Our tech also allows for the versatility of virtual seat purchasing, virtual fan attendance at large-scale sporting events and concerts. Looking forward to seeing you guys in the meeting room after the event today. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. I'm Lisa Mullen, the Chief Underwear Officer of Uwilla Warrior. Uwilla Warrior is an inclusively sized women's underwear brand with fewer wedgies and more kicking ass. While our underwear takes her through every moment of her day, we're having strong sales success already as an athletic underwear brand. We sell direct to consumer, that's the majority of our business, but we also have had strong success with wholesale partners like Nordstrom, Neiman Marcus, and Free People. And we even co-brand all the Free People movement underwear. We're looking for ways to continue to grow as an athletic brand, and we believe that every woman deserves a really awesome pair of underwear to work out in. So please come visit in the breakout.
Hi, I'm Neil from V Rotors, a radically different platform for immersive fan engagement with sports celebrities and broadcasters. Through your mobile phone, PC, or Twitch stream, you join your celebrity as a live pilot, a drone or robotic vehicle on location, whether a golf course or stadium. We have some amazing life-size augmented reality overlays, and in VR, you're literally sitting next to the celebrity. So come join us in the breakup room, and we'll show you some cool videos. Thanks.
Hi, with our proprietary adhesive silicone technology, our performance wear wavewear boosts performance experience by realizing conditional taping technology onto the fabric. It makes performing experience easier, comfortable, and feel better. Wavewear helps prevent injuries, reduce muscle pain, and could reduce muscle fatigue up to 35% due to our clinical trials. We have FDA medical grade approval as well as UFC. Any connections are welcome. Looking forward to seeing you in the breakout room. Thanks.
Hi, everyone. I'm Georgia Grace, and this is my co-founder, Charlotte. We are She Fly Apparel, a company on a mission to help everyone answer nature's call outside, literally. We do that through a second patented zipper that extends all the way to the back of the pants so that the user can do their business outside without exposing skin to the elements or other people. And we're super excited to be in the sports technology track so we can expand outside just outdoor recreation where we started to also women who work and compete outside.
So we're going to wrap up just real quick, try to keep us on time. Thank you all, startups. Y'all did an awesome job. Everybody that's joined us today, thank you for showing up, for getting to meet some of the startups. Thank you to Thomas Alomes. He's always an awesome speaker, always awesome presenter. We love the state of sports tech that he does for us every year. And this is a great format to do it in. So thank you all for being here. Again, the Airtable that we've linked multiple times will live on with this recording. It's in the chat. Feel free to continue to use that. If there's any startups you did not get a chance to talk to, that's a great resource to keep on there. Startups, if you saw somebody here that you didn't get a chance to connect with and you would like to as well, then send us a note to text us at. We're happy to do that. theme of the day is it's all about connecting. That's what we're trying to do, right? So, you know, all the connection things, send us a note to text that. All right, this was awesome. Thank you all so much, and we will see you soon. Bye, everyone.